What's going on, Winners Win podcast? Your boy Loso 2.0, and today I have a special guest with me. May you please introduce yourself to the audience here?
Absolutely. My name is Jessica Coulthard, also known as the Bring the Joy Girl. I'm a life coach. I'm an NLP practitioner, and also most recently self-published over and over and over again author. So,
Okay, okay, cool.
mhm,
So I guess
yeah.
we got two authors on here. I just published my book as well, so
Oh,
that's pretty good.
congratulations. That's awesome.
Thank you. So Miss Jessica, NLP practitioner, what does that mean exactly?
So NLP stands for Neuro Linguistic Programming, which is a technique to basically get into the unconscious mind using language, as well as one of the really amazing ways that we can make change for somebody is through the way that they visualize something. If you can change the way that somebody sees something in their mind, you can actually create long-lasting change for somebody. So it's a lot of fun. There's a lot of amazing techniques, and it's incredible. It's fast and it's long lasting. It's a very cool modality.
Okay, so this is
Mm,
all personal development field, which that's what I love, right? You know what I mean?
absolutely.
I definitely,
Well,
definitely.
because that transfers into everything, right? Like that can transfer into business. It transfers into relationships. It transfers into your personal relationship with yourself. It transfers into everything, right?
Yeah, no, 100%, 100%, 100%. How did you get introduced into this field, like personal development?
Yeah. So it was December 31st, 2015.
Hmm.
And I was working on my New Year's resolution list, like I always did. And I realized that list was the same as the year before and the year before and the year before, and that I wasn't really getting any of the things ticked off. And so I thought there has got to be a better way. And I went down the rabbit hole and I came across an amazing book. See, back to the whole books are powerful. That's why we
Yes,
both have them, right?
100%.
And I stumbled onto actually the audio version of Jack Canfield's Success Principles.
Hmm.
And the very first principle in that book is take 100% responsibility for yourself. And I realized in that moment that that is exactly what I had not been doing. And so the more that I started to just follow that thread, we'll say, and just start taking responsibility for things and becoming way more intentional about what I wanted my life to look like, I realized that there's so much amazing information out there that the masses just are not aware of. And so I decided that I wanted to share it. And I went and I got my coaching certification. And then in 2018, decided to do the NLP practitioner just to add to the power of the information that I'd already learned through the coaching. And it's just been incredible, an incredible personal journey. But I know that you're also in the helping people business. And so when you see somebody else have like one of those aha moments, their eyes change, their face changes, there's not, you can't pay for that. It's priceless. And so it's been an amazing journey. So
No, that definitely, first of all, that all sounds amazing. You know what I mean? I think it seems like everybody starts that. For like I started even with my New Year's resolution too. I'm a
right.
listen, I'm just I want to be, the best to ever do it. So I gotta
Yeah.
start somewhere, you know what I mean? So I think that's really amazing. And then another thing that you said too as well, like you just kept collecting knowledge and just keep trying to grow, keep getting those more grooves on your brain. Um, I would say I do have a question for you though. So through all of this journey and everything, how was your family support, like your support system?
Well, at the time, I was a single empty nester. So
Hmm.
I didn't have anybody in my way, let's just say. Right.
Hmm.
So that was not a roadblock for me at all. Since then, I mean, my parents are blown away with what I've been able to accomplish for myself. My son always, jokes around and calls me his life coach. So it's pretty cool. It's and I have collected the most amazing group of people in my life through this journey.
Hmm.
I was very lucky to have been introduced to a local nonprofit in my area. I'm in basically Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada.
Hmm.
And there's a local nonprofit here that runs like a women's makeover, but more personal development makeover challenge. And so
Hmm.
over the course of the last 5 years, I've met hundreds of women that have completely impacted my life because they're the same mindset and they're ready for change. And so I've created an incredible circle for myself. So I've had an incredible support system, with my family, but even more so with the family that I've chosen for myself. So.
No, I think that was also another important look. Dropping a lot of golden nuggets. You can choose your support system. It doesn't have
Absolutely.
to be, your family is the end all be all, right? If they're not supporting you or you're not getting it from there, but fortunately you were too. But some situations people feel like they can't because of that. You could just go create that environment that you really need to succeed. I think that's awesome. Now, with being this amazing coach that you've been, and empty nester, obviously, but you had your kid before. I know you got life just going on. How do you balance everything? How do you find that work-life balance?
Ooh, that's a good one. Okay, so that leads me into one of my absolute favorite techniques that I teach other people. Have you heard of a 7 levels deep exercise?
No, man.
Okay, well, I highly recommend that you go check it out. But basically what it does is it takes you, you ask yourself the question, like, what do I want? And then you go 7 levels deep on that question. But the way that it works is every time you ask the question, you're asking the question on a new answer. And it just keeps going and going and going. And so about 4 years ago, I realized that my number one value, the thing that I value the most in life, is joy. Hence the Bring the Joy Girl. Yeah. And so for me, I run everything through the filter of, will this bring me joy? And if it does, I do it. And it's no longer an effort. There is no effort involved when it legitimately brings you bliss, right? So time management is not a thing. Like, I have a full-time job. I do have a family. I have a group of people that I work with. I have clients. I'm publishing books. But it's the best thing I could possibly think of to do every day. Like, there's no effort, right? So I think truly when you find your passion, like your real passion, there's no options. There's no other option. And so time management it's easy. You just do it because you love it, right? So no, I think if someone's struggling with time management, it's because maybe they haven't found that thing yet that really pulls them.
So where will be a good place for them to start, though? Would you say if they were like, hey, I don't, know exactly what I want to do? I'm like, where should I start?
Well, I think just anything that feels good, start there. Don't overanalyze it, because I've changed courses so many times, right? Like, I started out doing one thing and now here I am, like, all I want to do is write. I just want to write. I love it. Like, I can't stop doing it, right? But I didn't know that when I first started. I started out coaching one-on-one, running workshops. And yeah, I love that. But ultimately, what I really love is writing. So I think really it's just a matter of try something, feels kind of cool, feels kind of good in your body, go for it. And you will find the path after that. It'll just start to appear for you. If you pay attention to the feelings, right? I'm all about feelings. And if you feel something and it feels good, that you got to explore it. You have to explore it. So.
No, I definitely agree, because that's, at the end of the day, that's what entrepreneurship is, right? And it's connected deeply. I honestly believe it's connected deeply to our spirit, right? And our spirit, its main thing is to expand. You're supposed to expand. So you're supposed to do those things that you love and try to grow, just do whatever you can. Yes. I was actually listening to a great entrepreneur named Russell Brunson, and he was saying, you show me someone, their bookshelf, and I can show you what kind of person they are. So let me ask you, what's your favorite book and what's the biggest lesson that you learned from it?
Well, the one that changed my life was Success Principles. So I always recommend that to people. But the one that I'm reading right now that is absolutely like blowing my mind is by Dr. Benjamin Hardy, and it's called Be Your Future Self Now.
Okay. What's the biggest lesson that you're learning from it?
So I believe that our future, when you have a vision for your future, like a clear vision of who you are trying to become, because I believe that we create our lives, that when you have a clear vision of that and you actually tap into that and ask it questions, because it has more knowledge than I do in this moment. It knows what it's going to take to get me there. And you can start to become friends, like best friends with that future version of yourself. And you start to let it guide you. everything changes. Everything changes for you. It's craziness.
No, that's cool. Yeah, you see your vision, and then so you see your vision already, and just let it guide you, right?
100%. It has a voice. Listen to its voice.
Yeah, a lot of times people, I see this too. A lot of times I'm working with clients as well. They overthink a lot of things, and they're just like, "Oh, is it how's it going to be for me? Who's it going to affect?" It's like they always think about a lot of things. You're saying big on emotions, feel it, and just do it.
Yep.
And that's always been your thing, saying.
No, it's new again, like, because I am like you, it sounds like I am a growth junkie, right? So, I mean, don't get in my way. If I got a book in my hand, don't try to take it away from you. I will fight you for it. You know what I mean? So, I mean, for me, I feel like it's really interesting because I don't have as many physical books because I'm more of an audio person, but I have a really serious Audible addiction. Like it's bad, like pretty bad. But I truly believe that every book we read changes us, right? If you allow it to, if you don't just passively read it, if you actually absorb and then apply it, we become a different person from the time we start it till the time we end it, right? And so for me, I feel like books are actually how I'm moving through the world. I believe that the teacher appears when the student is ready. And to me, those teachers are in books, right? And so every time I read a book, I become somebody new, and then I go read another book and I become another version of myself. And what's really fun is to go back and reread a book that you read like 2 years ago.
Yeah,
It's a completely
it's a
different
different
book
book.
now. It's a completely, you can't even, because you're a different person, you're coming at it from a different lens, right? So for me, that's the power. That's where the power comes from. So
yeah, you definitely changed. I could definitely say that. Even like you were saying, I was kind of definitely connecting with some of the things you were saying on like, oh, I started off doing this, then I did that. And then, I mean, it was so many things. I mean, me, honestly, my ultimate goal was always to be the number one personal development, like ever, you know what I mean? But it was just like, before I was like, oh, copywriting is a skill that I'm going to need. So I was focusing on that. And then it was like, so I definitely am a big believer in that stuff. Now, I know being just even a person, not even going to say entrepreneur, but even a person, right? The law of rhythm, right? There's ups, there's downs. So what are some things that you do when you're down to get yourself back up?
Well, I recognize that sometimes I just need to rest, right? Like, and I think a lot of times entrepreneurs don't do that. So I have, like I said earlier, I have an amazing group of friends, right? And luckily, a lot of them are very business oriented. So we have amazing masterminds and business groups and business conversations. But even just to go for a walk, just go find a friend and go for a walk. Nature. Have you heard of, this is my new favorite thing that I'm learning about. It's called, I can't believe I've forgotten the name of it now. Quantum entanglement. Have you heard the term quantum entanglement?
No, I mean, I just seen Ant-Man, so I thought that was that.
Oh my goodness. Quantum entanglement is all about the fact that everything has energy and it's always vibrating and it's actually attracting, right? And so, and it goes way, way, way deeper than that. But we are entangled with other things. And so for me, the ocean is what I feel. The minute I see it, I'm at peace. The minute I feel it, my blood pressure comes down. The minute I see it, it's like a reset for me. And I truly believe that everybody has that thing that kind of they're entangled with, right? It could be a hike in nature. It could be skiing because you love the mountains. It could be the ocean. It could be whatever it is for you. Figure out what that is. Because to me, that's like how I reset. And I start, and it allows me to kind of refresh and then carry on. So
Okay, I know what you mean then in a way, because I feel like growing up and playing sports, right? It's like when I'm playing basketball, that's like I use that as like my therapy. Like it's like, oh, nothing else matters. I'm just out there hooping. So I do that. I usually just go play that, and then I may get like a little, and I'll go outside, get some shots, and then I'll just meditate while I'm outside and all that stuff, and just get with nature. So I definitely like what you're saying there. So that does make sense. That makes a lot of sense. When you're saying that, I was like, oh man, I've seen Ant-Man on Marvel. I was like, they talked about it a little bit, but
yeah, but it can be like, maybe that is your thing. If it's movies or like you say, going and playing basketball with friends, like whatever it is that that kind of just allows you to just like everything else just like falls off. Right. And just be with maybe there's a person in your life where you can just, it's like you can take a deep breath with them, and you don't have to be on, and you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be goal setting and like, what am I working on? Like there's, you just got to find that home, that place that allows you to just reset. So
no, I love that. I love that. I love that. I'm married, so I got my person. So.
Beautiful. Single, still searching.
It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. So let me ask you this, right?
Yeah.
What is your reason why? Like, what is driving you to work at something just so hard?
Yeah. For me, it's joy. Like that is my thing. Like I feel like, and so for me, what I try to help people with is I call it redefining success. Right. So, and I use joy. In my case, joy is legit joy, but I use it kind of as an umbrella term for people, right? It's that thing that when you're doing it, you are just in pure bliss, no matter what. Like for you, you said copywriting was something that you were learning, or writing your books, or working with a client to help them, whatever that is. It's like you change. Something happens inside of your body when you're doing it. To me, that just pulls me. So it's like finding that thing. That's why I do it all. Like even if there was no such thing as money, even if it was, I had to do everything for free, I would still get up every morning and do what I do because I get pure joy from it.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. I definitely agree with that too as well. I was saying that like when someone is picking something that they want to do, whatever your hobby is, like you can find a way to make money from pretty much anything now. We got the internet, right? Just find something that you really just enjoy so much that if you could do it and it didn't matter, you could make $1 million from it. Just do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or if you didn't do it, you know what I mean? You already do it for fun right now. You don't get paid. So it's like, you know what I mean? Just do that. And then when you focus on it, drive towards that, you definitely will be successful. So I definitely like what you're saying right there.
Well, I mean, even money, right? I mean, money doesn't have an intrinsic value. Money is what you're going to spend it on. That's where the value comes from, right? So if you think about, why do I want the money? Okay, I want the money to feel a sense of freedom. Well, guess what? You can feel freedom now. And when you start to feel it now, you attract more of it and it becomes effortless.
Yeah, no. And you know what's funny too? Same thing too. Like even with the goals, when you're making goals, when I said, all right, I want to be, none of my goals say, oh, I want to be a millionaire. The goals say, I want to be the best personal development, guru ever. And it's just like, well, you think I'm going to be a millionaire then? Because like the other ones are good and they're, it's going to come to you, right? The money's going to follow when you just focus on the journey.
It's just the icing on the cake, right?
Yeah, it helps. More money makes more impact. So what are so I know you said that, you do different coaching and stuff like that, right? So what are some tips that you could probably share with the audience? Just something to get them started.
Sure. Well, so talking about goals, one of the things that, I think people have this idea, we're talking about like creating a vision for your life, right? And having goals and working towards them. But I think what happens is people tend to get too, fixed on exactly what that needs to look like, right? And so I think that they tend to miss opportunities. And so I think it would be, yes, you need to have a vision for your future, but don't hang on too tightly to the vehicle that's going to get you there, right? Like we talked about earlier about like, we start out here and then we kind of go here and you just got to start. And, I think what really holds people back is that they expect something to go a certain way. And when it doesn't, they feel defeated or I'm not good at this, and they let that fear of not good enough hold them back. And so my best tip for somebody is, like you said, find that thing that brings you, that you feel passionate about, take one step forward and just try it. Don't let it be all or nothing. Don't let it like wreck you if it doesn't work out perfectly. And just keep allowing yourself to be open for what, signs and nudges. And I'm a universe girl. So for me, I truly believe that the universe sends us signs. It whispers in our ear. It gives us feelings. It sends us signs. And so whatever it is that you believe your higher power it's there, it's talking to you. We just need to listen and just not hold too tightly to the one thing, the only thing that we think is going to get us there. I truly believe that we have so many options, and we just need to really go with our feelings and allow that to guide us. So it would be just, don't hold too tightly to one way that you think it has to go, and let that stop you.
No, I agree. It's funny. I literally was just getting interviewed on a podcast, and we were talking about, have you ever heard of A-type, B-type, and C-type goals?
No.
So an A-type goal is a goal that you have achieved before and you already know how to achieve it. So like, I bought a car before. So it's like, I want to get a new car. I know how to buy a car. I already know how to do it. I've done it before. So this is another goal of that same one, right? A B-type goal is what you think you can do. So like, that's a goal where you never achieved it, but you know how to do it. So it's like, all right, let's say, okay, I want to, let's say I want to make 200,000 or 300,000. Like, I know I made 6 figures before, so it's like, okay, how can I get to this one? I think I can do it by just doing this, that I know how to do it. And then a C-type goal is one you don't know how to do and you truly want to do it, right? So it's like a really, really big goal. Like I said, #1 personal development guru ever. And it's like, I don't know how I'm going to achieve that, but the goal is so big. So every day is working towards achieving that goal. And when I was talking to the person on the podcast, they were like, well, then there's going to be people that have a goal that's so big and it's going to make them feel like, they're not good enough if they don't achieve it. How do you prevent that? And the answer simply was just show gratitude. Like, you actually have to spend time showing gratitude every day. Every day I spend time, I go, hey, this is what I achieved yesterday. It could be something simple as, you know what? I didn't eat out today. I spent a lot of money eating out. So it's like, wow, I eat out today. That's good. Or then by the end of the month, oh, I did this, I did that. And then when I look at the end of the month, it's crazy. You know what I mean? Published a book, got a new car, got a new house, all this stuff. And like, you're like, whoa, how did this happen? It's a matter of just showing gratitude. I don't know if there's something that you push with your clients too as well. Like, what are some of your things that you do to show gratitude?
Yeah, well, I like to be in the moment. So with me, because joy runs my life, I'm always on the lookout for the little things, right? Like the company that I used to work for, we were right on the ocean. And so every morning I would get out of my car, and before I started to walk towards the office, I'd stop and I would just enjoy the beauty, right? Too often people just, they get their stuff and they just go and they miss it all. But for me, it's about slowing down and being in the moment and really appreciating that moment and being intentional. And I take photos and I share them, and it allows me to remember it. And it's the little things. Everything is about the little moments and allowing them. I was actually working with a client on the weekend, and we were talking about, she's saying, I can't seem to keep my house clean. And I'm like, well, pick one small little thing. And when you accomplish it, stand back and appreciate it. Like, make your darn bed and then appreciate how good it looks, right? So for me, it's not as much about gratitude, journaling, or anything. Like, I really just do it in each moment. I think it's just become a natural habit for me, right? But if it's not a habit, then yeah, you do kind of have to kind of lead people with some type of a strategy, right? And a gratitude journal can be a really great way to start that habit. So I think gratitude, they say that it changes your brain, right? It actually changes your brain when you get in the habit of gratitude.
No, that's crazy. It really, I honestly, truly believe that it does. Like, it really just like, wow, I really achieved this and got this done. What else can you just start asking yourself the right questions? What else can I achieve? Then if I could do this, what else can I do? You know what I mean? So I think that's
stacking wins is huge, right?
Yeah. 100%. So, if you had to leave the audience with one last big piece of advice, what would it be?
Oh, wow. Only one?
You can do a couple.
Yeah, I mean, I guess for me, because it's worked so well in my life, is really figure out what that thing is that brings you the most joy and let that guide you. So I've created something called a decision matrix. And I mean, everyone uses matrices, but it's a really great way to make decisions and kind of step back and be super, super intentional about it. So a decision matrix, I'm very pragmatic, so I like to give people actual tools. So my best tool for making really good decisions is know where you're headed. So you've got, like it's like two axes, right? So the first one is like that vision, that future vision that you have for yourself. And then the other one is that thing that brings you the most joy. And so every time you're presented with an opportunity to do something, you have to decide what you want to do, run it through this matrix. Is okay, so you approached me and said, hey, do you want to be on, or I approached you and then you replied about being on this podcast. So my first question before I say yes to something is, will it lead me closer to that future that I want for my life? Hell yes, it does. And does it sound like fun to me? Do I get to have an amazing conversation with another, incredible entrepreneur doing amazing things in the world? Heck yeah, it does. So it's going to bring me joy. So that's the sweet spot. That's a hell yes, baby, right? So for me, that would be one of my favorite things to leave people with. Is like, if you can learn how to make really intentional decisions about your life will change really quickly. So that's my favorite tool to teach people quickly. So.
Oh yeah, I like that one. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, that's a nice one. That's definitely a nice one. That's definitely a nice one. I love it. I love it.
Thank you.
If anyone wanted to reach out to you with more help with just self-help and just how to bring that joy, how could they reach out?
Well, I'm on TikTok. TikTok is my absolute favorite place to be right now. So it's Bring the Joy Girl on TikTok and on Instagram. I'm on YouTube. I have a YouTube channel as well. You can find me there, or just Google my name. I actually have noticed that I have a fairly decent social footprint now. So you can Google my name and you can find me. I also have a podcast. You can find me there. So yeah, it's not too hard to find me. I can't hide anymore, apparently. So yeah.
I love it.
It's a good problem to have, right?
No, it's a great problem to have, man.
Yeah.
Everywhere. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to just get on this podcast. It's definitely appreciated.
Oh, absolutely. My pleasure, or I would not be here.
Hey, listen, you're honest. That's really all I had today. Did you leave anything else for them? Or are you all good?
No, that's great. Yeah, I really appreciate, you giving me a chance. I haven't been on a podcast for a while, so you're kind of like, you're my reset button, and thank you. I really appreciate it, and it's given me the juice to go find more people to talk to now.
I'm glad to help. You know what I mean? That's what I do. I help people win, right? That's what I have for you guys. I just want you guys to listen on this. Please go look for Bring the Joy Girl. Get some more practical information that you can apply to your life to find that joy, right?
This is one of my books here, and if you want pragmatic exercises to actually walk you through, that's the one. So it's called Rediscover You. You can find it on Amazon.
Perfect. Thank you. Go purchase that book. You know what I mean, guys? Come on. And keep killing the day, guys. Winners win, losers lose. And you guys pray for success like this. I'll talk to you guys. See you.